Hello everyone and welcome to Minecraft Snapshot 25W09A. Now, I did want to start off this video by saying this will be a shorter video than last week's snapshot because there's not as much in this week's snapshot. Now, for those who don't know, I actually have a lot of experience with Bedrock. I used to play predominantly Bedrock back in 2020 before eventually switching back over to Java. And one of the features that we have over in Bedrock that we haven't had in Java up until this point is fallen trees. So starting in Snapshot 25W09A, Java will now also have the fallen trees that Bedrock has. And as you can see, they'll also come with some decor. Mushrooms, red or brown variants can be on any of the logs. Sometimes the stumps themselves will have vines on them. And I believe sometimes the trunks too can also have vines on them. Now to go more in depth, spruce trees aren't the only trees that can have fallen variants. The trees that can are oak, birch, the tall birch trees, and jungle. And spruce, but you guys already know that. Now, there's a few more things I want to talk about with these fallen trees. I can't exactly remember how their Bedrock variants worked. I don't know if they had jungle variants at Bedrock. I think they had the other three, but the jungle variant may be new. Don't quote me, though. A really cool thing about these new fallen trees is that the trunks can actually spawn on different layers to the actual stumps. As you can see, the birch trunk can fall about 5 blocks from the stump. Anymore, it just won't spawn the trunk. So that's just a cool thing. I don't know if that's a thing in Bedrock. I honestly can't remember. It's been too long since I played it. A common thing I've been seeing when looking for the fallen trees is sometimes the stump will be the only thing that spawns and the trunks are just nowhere to be found. I believe this will happen if the trunks just don't have enough room to spawn, which makes sense to me. But it's cool that we keep the stumps at least. I kind of like it better this way, even if this isn't intentional. Now, the fallen trees can spawn in any biome that has their standing tree variants, except for the following 5 biomes. The meadow biome and the grove biome. The bamboo jungle biome. I don't know why it's such a small flower forest, but the flower forest biome will not spawn oak trees and will only spawn fallen birch trees. So I guess it's actually 4.5 biomes. And lastly, fallen trees cannot spawn in the river biome, which I feel like was pretty not that strange, but I guess maybe there's something going on where they had to specify that. I don't know, maybe there's some weird boundary stuff. I'm not really sure. And I generally believe that is all the changes with the fallen trees. Now, there are a few more smaller changes I want to go into. First of all, once again, with leaf litter this week, it can now be replaced by other blocks easily. If you just right click on it, it's pretty simple change, but I guess it's nice. I could have seen some scenarios where leaf litter could be a bit annoying, especially if there's a ton of it in a forest like there is here. So that's a cool little change. I wasn't sure if I could be able to find an example, but Firefly bushes can now generate in mangrove swamps and the Badlands biome, but only near water for both of them. And the Badlands biome, I believe, is a rare spawn. Now, there's also been some bug fixes that I'm going to quickly go over. Most of these are pretty simple, so we're just going to speed through most of them. First of all, dead bushes cannot be placed on farmland, which has actually been a bug dating back to, I think, 1.15-ish, which is cool that's fixed. Any crystal beam appears to be black. The player can sometimes teleport through blocked end portals, moving very fast. SNBT text components prevent \n and \t from working. Flying into water with an elytra puts the players in an erroneous state. Now, I was actually mistaken whenever I first read this. I originally first thought this is like whenever you go into water with the elytra out and like you're in like a weird swimming thing where you're not swimming, like you're flying through the water. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but this didn't fix that bug. I think this bug was from one of the earlier snapshots for 1.21.5. SMBT text components prevent Unicode escapes from working. Changing a single line of a sign with /data is no longer possible in some situations. Strafing twice in rapid succession while walking forward causes players to sprint. Interesting. Beacon beam clips into beacon block when far enough away. Beacon beam disappears and reappears when approaching it. Beacon beam can render over fog when outside render distance. Those are all some beacon changes. I mean, once again, pretty minor stuff. Snout of the new cow model is offset vertically by 0.1 pixels. Now, you guys can see on screen here, but like I personally don't see a difference. I mean, I guess it probably is offset by 0.1 pixels, but like it's not like a meaningful change. Players can be lit by lava while stepping onto solid blocks next to it. Beacon beams render beyond client render distance. Leaf litter can be placed on walls and fences. That is an interesting one. I didn't know that was in the game, but that's patched now. Short dry grass and tall dry grass aren't randomly offset, unlike similar blocks. Random ticks can cause entity buildup in lazy chunks. Goats can no longer ram armor stands unless the game rule mob griefing is set to false. And any crystal beams cause open GL errors with GL debug verbosity set to 3. And with all those bugs being said, I believe that's all we have in today's snapshot. So like I said at the start of the video, pretty small one this week, but I think they definitely earned themselves a bit of a break with last week's snapshot. I'm still obsessed with looking at those eggs. They look oh so good, even if some of them will hopefully be getting some changes very soon. Anyway, that's it for today's snapshot video, so I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in my next video, hopefully Friday. See you guys then. Goodbye.